Hi, this is Tabletop Templar, and welcome back to another Spotlight series where I show you a game from my collection and give my thoughts and opinions on it. So today we're going to look at a really older game, probably maybe a game that most people haven't heard of. It's called Federation and Empire. It's from Task Force Games, and originally it was made in 1986. Now, the game has undergone quite a few um, versions since then, and in fact, this is actually an outdated version. I believe in 2010 they updated this again, and actually this is sort of an older-ish version. But in the grand scheme of things, it's actually kind of in the middle to slightly later. But they continue producing this game, and this box design is, I think it still kind of looks the same, although the company name is different. This is Task Force Games. The current one is by Amarillo Design, and so I don't have this one or that one. I have this one, which is an older version. I don't care. I don't care that I don't have the newest version, although that might be something to consider if you are going to get into this game um, and play with other people, or certainly anything competitive. You're going to go to a convention or something. They're probably going to be playing the newest version. So just so you're aware. So this game, where do I even begin? It is probably the most complicated board game that I own and probably will ever own. Um, and really, I kind of bought this as just sort of a vanity, just to have it. It's not something that I've really played much of. It has a lot. It's really depth. If a board game could have bloat and to be the most complex that I've seen, I'm sure there are games that are more complex, but this is hard to beat. This is definitely the most complex I've ever played. It just, although some people who I've talked to and said, well, it's not that complex. You just have to kind of, go through the steps, and once you know, but you could, that's true for anything. I mean, once you've done it enough, yeah, I mean, anything's easy. But certainly for um, a new gamer, or if you're not aware of what this is, do not rush out and buy this until you've done your homework. And really, there's no reason to own this if you know someone that has it and play it. But I don't know if this is ever played locally. I'm pretty sure it's not locally, but I do know there are conventions of this. And there was a story if you go to Board Game Geek, and it was a really funny story on the forums. Someone mentioned that there was a convention. They played this around the clock. I think they were four people on each team, because this is really this pits a coalition versus an alliance, like the Federation and the Hydrons and Gorn and Kazinti are fighting the Klingons, Lyrans, and Romulans, and the ISC are the neutral. But anyway, so it's two sides. So what they did was there was a convention for a weekend or something. I can't remember how long it lasted, but they wanted to fight the entire general war, which is what the main campaign of this is. In fact, the scenarios are really just small slices of the main war, maybe like the beginning or the middle or the end. It represents a particular time. And so, anyway, they ran it all around the clock. They were playing. So what they did is they did it in shifts, 12-hour shifts. So two guys on each side, on each side would play. They would play for 12 hours, while the other guys would be resting, sleeping, and then they would rotate throughout the whole weekend. They were doing this, and they said they still didn't finish the game, despite playing round the clock. They did not finish, at a convention for a weekend. So that just gives you an idea of how what this game is. It is very long. If you wanted to play the whole thing, now certainly it doesn't have to be that long. You could play some of the scenarios, which are basically parts of the war, and certainly you can do that in a much more manageable time. I'm not sure if they were playing all of the expansions, because that's the other thing about this game. Uh, there are tons of expansions, tons of them, and they keep making more. That would really bog the game down quite a bit. I mean, the Bane game is enough, but the bloat it can get out of hand. One thing to mention, so this might look like it takes place in the well, actually it does take place kind of in the original series, but it takes so what they call us is the Starfleet. I'll show you the Starfleet universe. Well, really, it's the Starfleet Battles Universe. Um, because this is sort of an alternate kind of universe. It's not exactly 100% in the original series. I mean, very similar, but what happened was Task Force Games had, got the rights to, I think it was like a certain part of the original series. But because the original series had changed a little bit over time, and so instead of adapting to that, what they did was they kind of took it and ran with it and kind of went into a slightly different direction. And so instead of, maybe some races that were originally bigger in the galaxy, they've maybe gotten rid of or have downplayed them. They're still maybe more prominent. And I don't know all the details. I'm sure there's someone that knows all about the backstory about the Starfleet Battles universe. And there's another game called Starfleet Battles. They actually have several games that are kind of similar in, or not similar, but they take on a different scale. Starfleet Battles is the ship where you're controlling one ship or a couple ships and playing out, a battle. Then there's another game. I can't remember the name of that, but I can, if anyone wants to know, I can give that to them. That's like we're a fleet I don't know, fighting a fleet, and it's more. There's simplified versions of it. Um, this is the absolute grand scheme of all of it. So they all take place in the same kind of universe. But just so you know, this is only it's the original series, but kind of the original series, and then over time they've added to the the lore of that. So it's very unique. So it's not strictly just Star Trek the original series. It's sort of a little bit of a different version of it. Um, so yeah, I'll show you the board and show you the counters. There are a million counters in this. One thing I wanted to show you is the rule book. The rule book is very long. It is, well, this is 80 pages here. And I like how they give you, they've already punched the holes as if they're saying, well, you're going to have to, if you want to get expansions, you're going to put this in a 3-ring binder. Just how thick this is. I mean, it's a fairly large manual, and it's not really it's not a it's like a programming manual or engineering manual. It's not really like appealing to the eyes at all. You can see the different editions. Originally 1986, then they came out with 89, 90, 93. That's the current one. So there are different revisions that they've gone. And then this is by no means the most recent. And the original map was black, and it was different. So this is one of the newer-ish maps. So I can show you the different things. You can see there's capitals, star bases, battle stations, different planets, the neutral zone, and this is the Federation. And there's the Gorn, Then you have the Romulans here, and the ISC are over there. The Gazinti are up there. You can't see the glare. I don't know if the Klingons, Lyrans, and then Hydrans. So, um, and then you have the Orions and the Tholians are here. Did I miss any other neutrals? LDR is over here. There's sort of the so there's some neutrals that are involved, and I think I got everyone. But yeah, this is the Federation, and that star, that's the capital. That's basically Earth and Romulus, I think, is what it's supposed to represent. So there's planets, there's bases all over. The counters. This is all of the Federation. This is just the Federation counters. I mean, this is the amount of counters you'd see in maybe one board game, but this is literally one faction. So let me put them all out here. These are the Klingons. These are the Romulans. These are two different factions. I can't remember who's who in this one. It's been a while since I've played it, and I haven't played. And to be honest, I haven't played this game very much. I think I just haven't been able to get into it. So I'm giving a very brief overview, and I don't have a ton of experience playing a lot. Mainly, no one wants to play this with me. I mean, that's the honest truth. I can't remember who these guys are. I mean, again, like literally one bag's worth is this is what you'd see in maybe your typical board game, and this is just one faction. There's more. I think these are the expansion ones. And then the last one. So the ships. And there's a lot of record keeping. And then on top of that, I also own two expansions. I've got Special Operations. So of course they give you more stuff, more ships. You know, stasis field generators, electronic warfare, light tugs, and tug pods, auxiliary carriers, different scenarios. Of course, there's more rules, and then more punches to put in your rule book. And then also have this one, Carrier War. I love the artwork on this. I mean, it's kind of like almost like a comic book art. I do like the art. So looks like a Tholian web. This one's about Launch the Fighters, Carrier War. This was the first expansion. Electronic shuttles, individual carrier escorts, Klingon swarm attack groups, 2 scenarios. Of course, another. What we got here? How many pages? 48-page rule book. About there's just tons of stuff. I mean, this is by far the most complex game that you'll probably see, unless you really, really go looking. I put that in the comments. Let me know what's the most complex rules board game have you seen? And this game isn't also not too expensive. You can find copies on eBay pretty reasonably. So I mean, there's definitely complex games out there, but usually they're a lot of money. This one is not a lot of money. This is, I don't know what this is. This is the scenario setup charts for. This is the Carrier War. I mean, it's all about. Yeah, I mean, it literally is like a military manual. The ships have the designations as like a naval deployment. I mean, it really is very in depth. And I was looking. I wanted to show all the other stuff. There's all kinds of. So this is what you do for the economics. Every turn. This is also a huge economics game. You a lot of bookkeeping. All the stuff you keep track of, treasury, all your planets. You've got your repairs, construction, overbuilds, conversions, mothballed ships, um, field repairs, drone bombardments. Can give money to your allies. I mean, I think this is the same. It's just a lot. I mean, this is yeah, it's a duplicate, but and then you've got each faction has their fleets. So if you want to put them, so yeah, a lot of stuff. The combat results table. I mean, oh my goodness, this is quite a bit for that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff with this. Every faction has a chart, and then you have your own. If I can get it right, you have your own map sheet. So this is sort of if this is the Gorn. This is kind of zoomed in on your territory. So a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what to do about this game. Should I? Is this a recommend? Um, I mean, I would say I'm almost warning you. This is not a game to get into lightly. This is, I can't guarantee you can be able to play this. But if you love Star Trek, even though it's in a slightly different universe, maybe do some reading. Definitely read up on this game first. Um, and you can maybe get the other game, Starfleet Battles. That one is very popular, and they also produce well currently Amarillo and but then Task Force Games they made a like a publication. There was like a magazine that they would do, and it would have articles for all of their games, their Star Trek games. They would have articles and extra stuff for this one for Starfleet Battles. They also made I forgot they made a role playing game. I don't know if anyone still plays that. Can't remember the name of that one, but um, it's a role playing game. But it's set in the Starfleet Battles universe. Uh, so yeah, I mean, if you have any interest in checking out some of that stuff, I do remember they made a simplified version of the Starfleet Battles. There's the original game, which is kind of complex, but then they made a game that was similar but less complexity, faster to play. Maybe check that one out. This one is not simple. It is complex. I was actually kind of wondering if they would ever make like a simplified version of this game that maybe didn't that cut out some of the fat a little bit. This, I mean, holy cow, this game has a ton of stuff. But it could be endless fun as well, if that's what you're looking for. Um, yeah, Battle for the Galaxy. It's set in the universe of Starfleet battles, the Grand Alliance, and the Coalition. Yeah, look at that. 80-page rulebook and 1,512 encounters. I mean, that's crazy. Complexity, moderate to high. I'm gonna say that's high. It's not moderate. Playing time from 4 hours. 4 hours. It might take you 4 hours to set it up. No, it won't take that long, but they're not playing this 4 hours. It doesn't even really give one. It says from 4 hours. Yeah, from 4 hours to the we might be in spaceships by the time you'll complete the thing. You might be flying your own spaceship by then. Um, Let me know what you think. If anyone has played this game, let me know. What are your thoughts? Is this something that is worth it these days? This particular edition came out in '93. The game is from '86. Um, did you play it back then? What's your opinion on the newest edition? Is that something that is it worthwhile? I'm definitely have no interest in upgrading, because I hardly ever play this version as it is. But I should get around to it, to maybe trying it out a little bit more, playing it a little bit more. I just kind of went through a few turns here and there, but whenever I've gotten the mood for Star Trek, but I haven't been able to play through a complete scenario. It just gets bogged down too much, and then I kind of lost interest. So I'll probably hang on to this forever. I don't see getting rid of it. It's just sort of something cool to have. Love the artwork. All of their production have really good artwork. Even their magazine, like their publication that they did, a lot of good stuff. It definitely draws your attention. Although the manuals could have used this kind of artwork. It's just they spent all their money on this, and the manuals are plain. I mean, this is like something. This is like putting your washing machine together style manual. You know. Anyway, I think that's all I'm gonna say about this one. Let me know in the comments. Love to carry on the discussion, and let me know what you think. All right, have a good day.